Today, we're breaking down 10 detective tactics criminals don't see coming. 1. Surveillance. The watch and wait trap. The suspect thinks, nobody's watching me. That's usually the first mistake. Surveillance is not just one detective sitting in a car with binoculars. Real surveillance is pattern hunting. Detectives watch where you go, who you meet, what time you leave, which car follows you, which door you use, which place you keep returning to. Because people are creatures of habit. Even paranoid people. They switch cars, they change routes, they look over their shoulder, but eventually, they get comfortable. Same gas station, same back door, same late night meeting. And once detectives know your routine, they don't need to guess anymore. They know where you'll be before you get there. 2. Undercover operations. The fake friend trap. The suspect thinks, I know who I can trust. That's the second mistake. Undercover work is when law enforcement steps into a fake identity. Not as a detective, as a buyer, a business partner, a friend of a friend, someone who looks useful, someone who looks safe. And that's why it works. People don't confess to cops, but they talk to people they trust. They brag. They negotiate. They explain how the operation works. They introduce other people. They reveal things they would never say in an interview room. That's the trap. The suspect thinks they're building trust. Detectives are building evidence. One important line here. Undercover work is usually legal. Entrapment is different. If police pressure someone into committing a crime they were not already willing to commit, that can become a serious legal issue. But if the person was already ready to do it, and the undercover officer simply gives them the opportunity, that evidence can hold up.
3. Controlled buys. The one sale is enough trap. The suspect thinks it's just one sale. Wrong. One sale can be enough to open the door. A controlled buy is when police use an undercover officer or a cooperating informant to make a monitored purchase. Usually drugs, sometimes weapons, sometimes stolen property. But the key word is controlled. Before the buy, detectives search the informant. They document the money. They may record the serial numbers. They set up audio or video. They place officers nearby. Then the buy happens. The suspect thinks it was quick and clean. But now detectives may have the item, the money, the recording, the witness, the timeline. And if it happens more than once, now it starts looking like distribution, not a one-time mistake. This is why controlled buys are so dangerous for suspects. They don't feel dramatic in the moment. No sirens, no raid, no arrest right away. Just a transaction. But sometimes the arrest comes later, after detectives stack enough documented buys to make the case stronger. The suspect thinks they got away with the sale. They don't realize the sale was the evidence.
4. Pretext calls. The you said it yourself trap. The suspect thinks, it's just someone I know calling me. That's exactly why it works. A pretext call is a recorded call where one person talks to a suspect while detectives listen or record. It might be a victim, a cooperating witness, a friend, someone the suspect already trusts. The caller does not sound like a detective. They sound hurt, confused, angry, scared, casual. They ask questions like, why did you do that? Where's the money? Why did you tell me to meet you there? Can you send me what you owe? And the suspect responds. Maybe they deny it. Maybe they explain too much. Maybe they apologize. Maybe they correct one tiny detail, but that tiny detail can matter. Because once your own voice confirms part of the story, it becomes harder to walk it back. That's why pretext calls are so powerful. People are careful around police. They are much less careful around someone they think they can manipulate. And depending on the state, one-party consent laws may allow a call to be recorded if one person on the call agrees. The suspect thinks they're controlling the conversation, but the recording controls the courtroom.
5. Digital forensics. The deleted doesn't mean gone trap. The suspect thinks, I deleted everything. That might be the most dangerous assumption on this list. When detectives get lawful access to a phone, laptop, or hard drive, they are not just scrolling through what you left on the screen. They may use forensic tools to extract data. Deleted messages, deleted photos, app data, timestamps, search history, location metadata, files you thought were gone. Sometimes the content is recoverable. Sometimes the content is gone, but the trace remains. A file name, a timestamp, a backup, a login record, a notification, a synced device. Even the act of deleting can matter. Because if someone deletes evidence after they know they're under investigation, prosecutors may argue that that shows consciousness of guilt. Meaning, you knew it looked bad, so you tried to hide it. That does not automatically prove guilt, but it gives investigators a direction. And that's the point. Digital forensics does not always give detectives one giant smoking gun. Sometimes it gives them small pieces. A message sent at 9:04, a photo taken near the scene, a search made before the crime, a deleted conversation after the crime. And those pieces build.
Cell tower and location data. The invisible trail. The suspect thinks, I wasn't there. Then detectives check the phone. Your phone is constantly communicating. Cell towers, Wi-Fi networks, apps, location services, carrier records. Even when you are not making a call, your phone may still leave location clues. Detectives can use legal process to request records showing where a device may have been at a certain time. This is called cell site location information. It is not always GPS perfect. It does not always put someone on the exact square inch. But it can place a phone near a general area, near a crime scene, near a victim's home, near a getaway route, near a meeting spot. And when that location data matches other evidence, it becomes powerful. Maybe the suspect says, I was home, but the phone says otherwise. Maybe they say, I never met that person, but their phones traveled together. Maybe they say, I left before anything happened, but the location trail says they stayed. The Supreme Court dealt with this in Carpenter versus United States, ruling that police generally need a warrant to access historical cell site location records. That was a major privacy case. But with the right warrant, location data can become a timeline.
7. Geofence warrants. The everyone in the area trap. The suspect thinks, nobody knows I was there. A geofence warrant asks a company, often Google, for data about devices located in a specific area during a specific time window. That is what makes it different. A normal warrant usually starts with a suspect. A geofence warrant starts with a place. Detectives draw a digital boundary around a crime scene and ask which devices were here. That can return a list of phones. Then investigators narrow it down. Who was there before the crime? Who left right after? Who appeared in multiple connected locations? Who should not have been there at all? This tactic is controversial for a reason, because it can sweep in innocent people who were nearby. A driver, a neighbor, a customer, someone walking past. That's why courts are still fighting over how broad these warrants can be. But when used, geofence data can create leads detectives did not have before. It can turn an unknown suspect into a possible phone, then a possible person, then a full investigation. The suspect thinks they disappeared into the crowd, but the crowd had location data. Now, phones tell detectives where bodies move, but money tells detectives why.
8. Forensic accounting. The money trail trap. The suspect thinks it's just cash. But money always wants to become something. A car, a house, a business, a crypto wallet. Forensic accounting is the investigation of money. Where it came from, where it went, who touched it, what story it tells. This tactic is used in fraud cases, drug cases, corruption cases, embezzlement cases, tax cases, and organized crime cases. The question is simple. Does the lifestyle match the income? If someone reports $40,000 a year, but owns luxury cars, multiple properties, and moves large amounts of cash, investigators ask, where did the money come from? That gap becomes the problem. Al Capone is the classic example. Not brought down for the crimes people expected, brought down through taxes. That is the power of financial evidence. It does not need emotion. It does not need a confession. It just needs numbers that do not make sense. And today, forensic accounting goes beyond bank statements. Crypto transactions, shell companies, business invoices, cash deposits, payment apps, real estate records.
9. Behavioral analysis. The story change trap. The suspect thinks, I'm acting normal. Maybe, maybe not. Behavioral analysis is not magic. It is not, he looked nervous, so he did it. Nervous people can be innocent. Calm people can be guilty. So detectives are not only looking for emotion, they are looking for patterns. Does the story change? Does the timeline shift? Does the person add details only the suspect should know? Do they insert themselves into the investigation? Do they over-explain one part but avoid another? The strongest behavioral clue is not nervousness. It is inconsistency. First, they were home. Then they were nearby. Then they walked past. Then they might have seen something. Each version moves. And when a story keeps moving, detectives notice. Behavioral analysis does not prove the case by itself. It points detectives where to dig. It tells them which question to ask next.
10. Trash pulls. The garbage confession. The suspect thinks once it's in the trash, it's gone. Legally, that is not always true. In California versus Greenwood, the Supreme Court said that trash left out for collection has no reasonable expectation of privacy. Meaning, if your trash is on the curb for pickup, police may be able to take it without a warrant. And what do people throw away? Receipts, drug packaging, gloves, notes, burner phone boxes, financial records, bloody clothing, cigarette butts, items with DNA. People protect their phones, they rehearse their stories, they delete messages, then they throw the receipt in the garbage, and detectives go get it. Trash pulls can confirm an address, they can connect a person to a purchase, they can recover DNA, they can support a search warrant, they can turn suspicion into probable cause.
Here is what criminals never understand. Detectives are not always looking for one perfect clue. They are stacking small ones. A phone ping, a deleted text, a fake buyer, a recorded call, a bank deposit, a changing story, a trash bag. One clue can be challenged, 2 clues can be explained, but when 10 different pieces point in the same direction, that becomes hard to fight.